Probably one of the oldest rituals in the human race is the exchanging of vows between a man and a woman. But this can only take place if this relationship survives another ancient ritual, the bachelor party. Party is the latest comedy from 20th Century Fox. Written by the creators of Police Academy, Pat Proft and Neil Israel, the film's cast of comic characters is led by the star of Splash, Tom Hanks.
Rick, we don't have a dog.
Oh, that's too bad. That's a waste of some good fat. Oh, are you
Tom Hanks brings more than wild comic invention to his role. Personal experience is just as important, so that his character, Rick, has warmth and believability.
Actually, Rick is sort of like Tom was in high school, except Rick has seen a little action, which I certainly never saw in high school, so that's pretty much it.
Time for spice, yes, it's spice time, and the lucky spice is paprika!
Hanks plays a school bus driver engaged to newcomer Tawny Katane, despite her parents' objections.
You're a slob. You dress like a bum. Second, you're unmotivated. You have no self-esteem, no thought about the future. You're
His friends, led by Adrian Zmed, co-star of the TV series T.J. Hooker, decide to throw him the bachelor party to end all bachelor parties.
Hey, a toast!
To Rick and Debbie.
Women will like it because they've never been to bachelor parties before, except the women that are supposed to be there. So this great American tradition is being put on film, and people are really seeing what a bachelor party is like.
I think the women should be pretty happy to see that men don't necessarily have to succumb to everything that is thrown at them at a bachelor party.
Okay, let's get ready for picture, please.
Bachelor Party has its origins in a real party thrown for the movie's co-producer, Bob Israel, brother of the film's director, Neil Israel. In fact, some of the cast were at the original party, and like Hanks and his cronies in the film, several members of the production team are old friends. Perhaps it's this family spirit that gives Bachelor Party its heart.
At the core of this thing, there's a love story in here, too. It's a story about a couple, and through the madness of this night, will they still get married? I mean, there is a question about it. There's a whole question about fidelity in this thing. Will the groom resist the temptations of the bachelor party? And there are many temptations. Will he make it through it?
Gentlemen, I'm not going to beat around the bush on this thing. I'm getting married.
Yeah, right, yeah. Well, thanks for telling us, man. You could have
How many times each year does this scene take place? And the announcement is usually met with the same reaction, shock and dismay. But a quick recovery is always at hand.
You really are going to do this?
Will you?
The least we can do is make sure you go out in style.
Yeah, let's have a bachelor party with chicks and guns and fire trucks.
all the things that make life worth living for.
The latest comedy from 20th Century Fox is appropriately called Bachelor Party. Based on the actual party thrown for one of the film's producers, Bob Israel, the movie humorously explores this most private of male rituals.
The bachelor party is an American institution, and it's something that all men have in common, and it's like no other event in life.
We actually talked about doing a film about bachelor party at that original bachelor party. And yet, it was not anything to really synthesize into a script or actually doing. It was more just sort of in a vague way. There are funny things happening here.
And bachelor party is what happens when there's no more rules. Literally no more rules. You can do just about anything you want. And it's accepted among everybody who's at the bachelor party. And I think that's what makes it so exciting and fun. And it's like going into the land of unknown.
At the heart of every bachelor party is the commitment between the soon-to-be bride and the groom.
I love you.
I love you.
At the center of this party is the groom, played by Tom Hanks, who has to weigh his commitment against the possibilities.
The suspense for the Rick character is, will he or won't he at his own bachelor party? And in some cases, you have to make the decision of whether you're going to stick to your guns or, you know, just do it because there's a possibility and it's fun and it'll only happen once. So I think personal responsibility reaches into my character anyway.
I think any man who's serious enough to really get married and to have a very nice big bachelor party thrown for him, I honestly, I guess maybe it's just wishful thinking, I don't think that they would succumb. I don't.
A bachelor party is also about the bride who waits at home, wondering and trusting.
Any women who would like to know what a bachelor party is all about, this is the film to see. Because when your boyfriend, the guy you're going to marry, says, we're going to have a bachelor party, it's going to be nothing, we're going to get together, have a few drinks, just a guy will play cards. Don't believe this man.
The first day before the guy gets married, or a week or so, and it's like all his friends throw him in and say, okay, let's see if this is going to be it, if you can do it, if you can get past this night, you'll be fine. So a bachelor party is just all the decadence just thrown all together at once.
Good girls like bad boys. That's exactly the kind of party Tom Hanks' friends throw for him in the new 20th Century Fox comedy, Bachelor Party. And when his bride, Toni Katane, and her friends find out about it, their sedate shower ends and the fun begins.
The women in the picture are not dummies, and they're very modern women, and they respond to the men's challenge of if they think that they can do whatever they want, well, we can do whatever we want as well.
Eventually, both parties collide, making the bride and groom confront the most basic question.
I understand commitment. I love you.
The groom, as many grooms do, as much as they may love the person that they're going to marry, has second, third, fourth, and 21st thoughts about getting married.
I think the relationship between Tom Hanks and I, Rick and Debbie, is, excuse me, is a very warm and wonderful relationship, and I want people to walk away feeling the same way, and I think that they will.
For an actor, the road to a Hollywood movie set is not easily found, but television has helped many actors get there. The set of the new 20th Century Fox comedy Bachelor Party is no different. The movie's star, Tom Hanks, first gained public attention in the situation comedy Bosom Buddies.
The War eventually gets to be on TV is doing it week after week, in which the creative impetus can be lost after you do, 30 or 40 episodes of any television show. And it becomes a war of just sustaining the creativity and the spontaneity of it all.
It's long, it's to the fence, it's to the wall, it's gone!
Hanks recently achieved critical praise as the boyfriend of a mermaid in Splash. In Bachelor Party, he plays a free-spirited bus driver who delights in making fun of social propriety.
And, Bond. James Bond.
But when his friends throw him a bachelor party, he finds himself face-to-face with one of the most basic social conventions of all, fidelity. But despite his desire to stay true, the question still remains, will his relationship survive the party?
Well, it's sort of like an atomic bomb blast, It starts off small with one little plane and one little tiny bomb and eventually destroys an entire city, which I think this party will do to greater Los Angeles. No, and actually, Rick is sort of like Tom was in high school, except Rick has seen a little action, which I certainly never saw in high school. So that's pretty much it. You have to definitely explore your past in order to do a role like this. And The War eventually gets to be on TV is doing it week after week, in which the creative impetus can be lost after you do, 30 or 40 episodes of any television show. And it becomes a war of just sustaining the creativity and the spontaneity of it all. And if you're into a series for, 2 or 3 years, eventually you have to kick yourself out of bed and into the car and down to the factory. And you meet all the other TV stars when you punch into the time clocks and say, hey, good morning, how are you? And what are you having for lunch? And eventually it just gets to be like, making shell casings or putting axles on Fords. Eventually it gets dull after a while. But movies, you see, movies are, every day is different on films.